Are you looking to upgrade your UTB18 and don't know where to start? Well, I am in the middle of the process and we're going to create a list together, so stay tuned. Together. We can hold hands while we make the list. I guess we would need to both hold left hands across like this if we're facing each other, so that may be slightly awkward, but you know, I'm up for some awkward encounters if you are. Gosh, I can't even keep a straight face. Yes, it's our cones. Any rate, all right, so I'm in the middle of upgrading the Capra right now. It's been bone stock, and I keep thinking like, oh, what do I need to order? What do I need to order? And I need to make a list. So that's what we're gonna do today. I have exchanged the motor out to a prototype that I'm testing, and I learned that the low speed control is just terrible on this. I'll show you for the sake of this video. We've got another one that's out there probably at this time. There we go. So I exchanged the motor. It's a lot smoother than the stock motor. However, that's our startup right there. It is about 11% faster than the stock motor. So yeah, that's what we get. This tells me that the ESC has to be replaced, and it's integrated into the radio, which means that the radio also has to be replaced. So first things first, we'll get this turned off all the way. There we go. New motor, new brushed motor. Brushed motor means ESC, radio. Of course, the ESC has to be wired, and I think it needs to be wired with 2 JST outputs, I do believe. Let's look. Because we've got a couple of lights on here. There's a light, here's a light. Yeah, I think 2. Oh, did they wire it backwards from everything? They sure did. Did they really? Did they really? Oh. So there's an industry standard where you got these little JST plugs, and you always have your power be in the side where you can't drop something into it and short it out. Like let's say this pin tip, or you know, this wrench or a screw that's just randomly laying around. And they freaking reversed it. They reversed it from the industry standard. Yeah, of course they would. So that kind of bums me out. Wired. We're going to parentheses here, reverse JST, reversed JST. I suppose I can make a little adapter or something like that so that my ESC isn't actually wired backwards, but that's kind of a bummer. Like, why would you do that? That's like putting the bladed side onto a battery, like your bladed battery plug. It's like putting one of these onto a battery plug. You have the potential of this just touching something and shorting out. So, well, you know, if there's nothing for me to complain about a rig, you know, what would our YouTube channel have to talk about? All right, so back on track. We will need the radio. So I've already got my radio that I typically use for everything, which I've probably misplaced on myself. It's around here somewhere, but I need to find my bin of receivers, in particular the RX. There we go. Now these shocks, they're not bad. They're also not great. They have a lot of stiction. They really don't slide very good. It's just a molded shock body, so it's not gonna be great. If we wanted to replace those are 80mm shocks, and I do actually have some incision shocks here, and I tested them out, and they are the exact length that they need to be. However, the springs are probably gonna be too heavy, and I don't know if the diameter of those springs is different, so I kinda need help with that. If y'all know anything about it, but 80mm shocks with a super light springs. All right, and then we will need probably a servo. I'll do a 500 LP on the front to make this thing crazy. And then we should probably get a link set. If I'm gonna go to the 500 LP, then you know, these plastic links are link set. That way we can get into a tumble, and then we'll break our knuckles next with a metal link set. So we probably want to do like brass outers, brass knuckles. This is a completely, oh, there's actually, there is like a clamp on outer for these. So we may be able to do brass knuckles and C-hubs. We'll see what's out there. There may be something out there. Let's see, and that's a good start at least. You know, we're replacing stuff. We're not getting too crazy with it. But if I was going to go any further, then I would start to get into tires and wheels and everything like that. And first things first, I'd like this thing to at least crawl smoothly. That would be nice. So there's our list. I'm doing a new brushed motor. And if you do a brushless motor, of course, you'd have to exchange your ESC and your radio as well. But since I'm doing the new brush motor, I definitely noticed that the ESC had poor startup. So once again, ESC and radio, 80 millimeter shocks is standard on this guy. I would like to put on the nicer Servo. The 500 LP is going to be perfect for this little rig. A link set and then brass knuckles and C-hubs. That's pretty much the list that I would start with. What about y'all though? What would you replace on this? Do you have a different list that you made or different parts that you've tried that you really like that I haven't listed? And if you have any vendors actually that make some parts like the link sets, let me know in the comments and I will check them out. So yeah, there we go. That is a good start. We're going to actually label this UTB18 parts list. That way I won't forget what I'm talking about here. There we go. So one step down, we've got it apart. I've got hopefully everything in one spot where I don't lose parts, and that's going to get us going. So cool. Well, at least I got to start. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I will do my best to get to them. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.